Please, state your business. Incredible. You're a born killer, aren't you? Instead of just taking out bandit scum, how about hunting something bigger? There's an ogre, a really nasty son of a bitch, holed up in a nearby brook. I've heard that one swing of his hammer can turn a bear into a bloodbath. As you can imagine, the keepers aren't too keen on dealing with him, even though the ogre roams just off the main road to the north. When Galahad arrives, he certainly won't be pleased. If by some miracle you manage to kill it, you'll earn Camelot's gratitude and a hefty reward. Bring me the ogre's shiny eye as proof of the kill. The brook is right off the King's Road. Here, I'll mark it on your map. You managed to kill Rusty Ardgol? Well, well. A few months back, he supposedly took out a high-ranking red priest, so the big shots of Camelot were eager to see him dead. But it was you who finally pulled it off. And from what I hear, he was a tough bastard, surrounded by a gang of killers. Congratulations, and here's your reward. Go chop off some head. A fight to the death. It must be so exciting. Go, the hunter waits.
Let me guess. Camelot, no? Timberwall, also no? So you're not from the north? Ah, of course.
You must be from Connacht. I should have guessed right away. So, who's in charge there now? Nowhere? Never heard about it. Must be a shithole like no other. And I think I won't learn much about politics from you.
You know, people are talking about rising unrest in the north, and a secret coalition preparing a coup at the highest levels of power. And that whole plague thing is just a tool to reach their final goal. The Red Priests are also trying to get something out of it.
And to be honest, it's not gone too bad for them. The Druids are out of the picture already.
Well, sure. They want to establish a new order on our island. And it's not clear who's involved in the whole mess.
Maybe. Maybe our captain is even involved. Hell knows. They have their people everywhere. Damn it, you could be one of them too. Although when I look at you, I don't think so. You have such a stupid face. With all due respect, of course.
That's the case. Those sons of bitches are good at hiding. They kinda blend in and live among us. It's hard to tell if it's hideous magic or some other tricks. You see? It takes one to know one. And that means we're just pawns. Folks like us won't change anything. But we have to talk out loud. It suits them when everyone keeps their mouth shut.
Wait a minute. I'm not suggesting anything here. I'm just thinking out loud.
It doesn't make sense that the plague appeared just like that. Out of bloody nowhere? Hell no. It's a high-stakes game.
Power over us, of course. Over our bodies and souls. Over Avalon. Over the whole damn course of history. You know, I've been thinking lately. What if King Arthur is just a stupid fairy tale? What if the nobles and others involved in the whole conspiracy just made him up? And us peasants eventually just started to believe in it.
You know, one story for everyone. They drilled it into our heads, and drilled until it finally stuck. And then they built statues, wrote books, and everything else.
Yeah? Don't tell me you're one of those fools that think that the All-Mother exists. Have you ever seen her? How do you know that we're not being lied to?
Exactly. But maybe one day you'll see the truth.
Blessings upon you, stranger. May the word always resonate within your soul. What do you mean, my child? I'm afraid you are attributing too many characteristics to me based solely on the clothes I wear. The horns of the South are my home. My mission is to spread the word. The word is good. I'm afraid that I simply cannot believe your blasphemous words without proof. So it's your word against the word. Let's leave it at that. As prepared as any men can be against something they barely understand. Swords and fire will hold back beasts. But what of the creeping rot that twists flesh and mind alike? But there is one thing. The Excalibur they keep here. It has not been wielded in an age, yet the weird does not creep near it. Well, even as it rests upon its pedestal, the air around it remains untouched. The tendrils of corruption that strangle stone and steel refuse to claim it. The Keepers may not see it for what it is, but I do. There is power in that blade. Something ancient, something beyond the Church's teachings. And if it truly holds back the weirdness, then perhaps it was never meant for men alone. Safe? No. But safer than most, I suppose. But tell me, what is safety, truly? A stronghold? A weapon? A prayer? I've seen men with all three fall just the same. So no, I do not feel safe. But I do feel watched. And sometimes that is enough. It's a sickness, a corruption, but also a mystery. Many of my brothers would call it a curse, a stain upon Avalon that must be purged. And yet, I wonder, did Kai not teach us that all things have a purpose? That even suffering carries wisdom? The weirdness twists and warps, yes. It consumes and it takes. But it also gives. Life grows in its wake. Strange and terrible, but life all the same. If we are to fight it, we must first understand it. And that is what frightens the Church most of all. Understanding. Certainly, Kai's blessings know no bounds, but sometimes it's useful to seal them in a handy flask. May Kai's word always guide you. In the word, you will find solace.
Captain Hagen. Well, he was a man driven by pride and a certain disregard for caution. He sent men to explore those old tunnels beneath the keep. Somehow, he got it into his head that there was something valuable down in those tunnels. Treasures, relics, who knows what else. But the truth is, we know what was there. In the Age of Legends, it was just a hospital. There was some kind of outbreak or plague, and the place was sealed off. Nothing left to find, or so the records say. Yes, it weighs on me more than I'd care to admit. If I could, I'd see them laid to rest. But no captains ever bothered. It seems they thought it was a fool's errand. Maybe not worth the risk. If you're mad enough to try, then by all means go ahead. Just don't expect any keeper to follow you. I really don't have men to spare. But maybe it's time to make it right. So, thank you, I suppose. I knew we'd have to deal with this sooner or later. Time isn't exactly on our side. Mahone's condition worsens with each passing night. It's hard for me to admit, but nobody, including myself, really knows what's going on. Maybe a fresh perspective is exactly what we need. If you find any clues, follow them. I'm only interested in the details, and ideally, the solutions. There are a few retired keepers living there. They might tell you about the good old days if you ask them nicely. There are also some refugees from north of the island, since we had nowhere else to put them. I don't really know much about what's going on in that place. I just make sure they have everything they need, more or less. You can always go see for yourself. People fleeing from bandits, from the weirdness, you name it. I wasn't exaggerating when I said we were the last beacon of hope this far south. For these people, we are. Don't know how many more we can take, but that's a problem for another time. Eyes forward, and mind your step.
So the bitch understood the meaning, yes? I'm glad. They should all be scared shitless. Even more so after Cole got what he deserved. Congratulations on your powers of observation. Those vagrants should know that since they live on our dime, they also live by our mercy. I can do anything to them, and they can't do shit. My plan was perfect. It's necessary, and I don't have to explain myself to you. You're from nowhere, so you're nobody. Become a keeper, and you'll have the right to punch me in the face. But, as it is, you'd only get thrown in jail for starting a fight with a keeper. The refugees are a tumour on the healthy body of the Horns of the South. Remember this, and make wise decisions.
See you around.
Ah, that's you. Do you, need something? No, not really, fortunately. See you around.
Those tunnels lost more than good men down there.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. I'm not sure. I don't mean to say that you peasants all look the same, but you have to understand it's quite difficult for people like me to tell anyone apart in this dreariness, especially since there seems to be so many people like you here. I thought the South was supposed to be more secluded. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell! It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, of course. You know, I've always found talking about money so distasteful. But needs must, I suppose. Don't worry, you'll be handsomely rewarded. Oh, nothing major. You see, I've I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
You see that? Not one, but two noble ladies in a tavern tonight. That's a rare sight around here.
Aye, I saw 'em. You don't see their kind much in places like this. Makes you wonder what brings 'em down here.
One's Lady Elaine, a scholar from Farshire. Thought about talking to her, but I'd probably just make an ass of myself.
Elaine, eh? Yeah, she's known for her smarts. Better keep your mouth shut around her, unless you want to feel about as sharp as a blunt axe.
And the other one, Lady Elisa. Not as smart as Elaine, but she's certainly posh. Got the airs of royalty without the smarts to back it up.
Ha! Elisa, yeah. She's got the looks, but don't expect her to be cracking any books. Doesn't need to. Not with that Duncan by her side. Though from what I've seen, they don't seem to like each other all that much.
Yeah, I've noticed. They sit together but act like strangers. Makes you wonder why they even bother.
Probably all for show. I reckon Duncan's got his own problems, but Elisa, she's too wrapped up in herself to notice.
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other. But a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through, then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we'd have sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. I don't know. But you could put something on the table, and then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley. Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him.
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish. Lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? Stale fish? Yeah. Look around. You're in the capital of fresh fish. Unless you're buying from Heffen. I can't vouch for him. Here though, take your pick. All today's catch. You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brenadin was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a werebeast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore.
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I've tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? You can talk. Now, I'm sure we'll get along. My name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. Oh, biding my time, until a brave adventurer with a death wish comes along and asks if there's anything they can help me with. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. So, are you interested, child? I came to the Horns of the South because I found a fascinating book. It referred to a certain object, a figure most likely, which has the ability to dispel the wordness like a menhir can. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. However, when I asked those nincompoops about it, they just laughed at me. They said that the Andraste wasn't carrying anything of value, and even if it was, they wouldn't freeze their butts off in those chilly waters. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable keepers. In his waning years, he became an adjutant to Captain Lex. But it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? But just be very careful. This is a very rare publication. Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. A deal? And they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, 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 get to reading.
Oi, Noel, what if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
You're so daft, Randall. Some magical lass living in a lake gave the king the sword when he broke his own bashing forearm skulls.
So, the one in the stone, what's that called? It's not Excalibur, is it?
Nah, the one in the stone was called, don't know. Sword in the stone, I guess.
Sod it, whatever. So, if I pulled the sword in the stone from the, stone, and it broke, but only a little, would I still get to be king?
What? No. You'd have to pull out all of it. Only the one who pulls out the sword gets to be king, yeah? Not the one who pulls out a bit of the sword.
Wait, but if you have a sword and it breaks, do you tell everyone that you have a sword, or that you have a piece of the sword? Besides, you can always take it to the smith, and he can fix a new tip.
But if he fixes a new tip, it won't be the same sword.
Are you off your knocker? How's it not the same sword? So, what is it now?
You actually did it? Cleared out those tunnels on your own? Every captain before me thought it was a fool's errand, not worth the risk. And how are those tunnels? Salvageable? Aye, that it does. Camelot won't be eager to finance the repairs, but knowing the threat's been dealt with is a victory in itself. Perhaps someday we'll see them restored. Until then, we can at least rest easier. So the Keep owes you for this. Here's your reward. And what about Goban's friends? Did you find any trace of them? Give those to Goban, if you haven't yet. He's restless, but maybe seeing those again will help settle him. Might even help him get his act together.
If you're here to see the healer, don't bother. He's a quack and a butcher who likes to watch people suffer. I came to him with a toothache, asked him to make me something for the pain, and you know what he did? He said my tooth is rotten, and then sent me to Osbrit to get it pulled out. That, and I wouldn't trust him anywhere near my mouth. Don't get me wrong, Osbrit's a decent blacksmith, but he's no good with teeth. With one lad, it took him 3 tries before he got the right one. I'll stick to my grandma's potion for toothache. Or I would, if Heber would stop being such a dick and make it for me. Heber took the recipe from me. And even if I had the recipe, I'm no good at mixing that stuff. Said if I don't know how to make it, I shouldn't have it. And that he doesn't want some questionable homebrew medicine spreading through the keep. You will? Oh, you're a lifesaver. Tooth saver, yeah? No matter.
Oh, sorry. Do I know you? I'm terrible with faces. Either way, glad to make your acquaintance. I'm Jan Heber, a physician raised in Camelot and trained in the Royal Academy. What do you think? Do I look like a mystic to you? A shaman? A village witch? I don't think so. Otherwise, I'd have a lot more to worry about. If you're looking for answers about things like this, you should consult the literature on the subject. Though, I can't say I'd recommend it. Is some local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it. Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patient something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself. What irony? Oh, that was unexpected. Here, take it. What will happen, I have no idea. But please, tell me, if you live to find out. The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest of the brave. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how insignificant you are to the world.
I was classically trained in the proper art of medicine by the scholars of Camelot. The things they do here, they make no sense. No sense at all. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be effective, yet it seems to work wonders on these simple-minded, tough-bodied people here in the south. Shipments from Camelot are late, so I'm running low on supplies. If I'm not able to treat them, they'll start complaining. And Fergus doesn't like when people complain, especially when it comes to their health. He truly cares about them, I've got to admit. He doesn't care much about anyone else, though. I don't dream about anything anymore, so sleep feels like a waste of precious time. Fortunately, back in Camelot, I found a mix of remedies that can keep me awake for a whole week. It was quite popular in our study group. Oh no, every physician needs his secrets. But I can sell you some if you promise not to tell any of the higher-ups. There are side effects. You won't fall asleep for a while, but the moment you do, well, you'll feel like you died and came back to life, only to die again. So you either take the next dose or endure it. I can endure it because I don't have a post to attend to. But our brave soldiers, well, that'd be risky. Well, they already trust my word. I'll be sure to deny everything. Moreover, I'm in the position to raise my prices or to refuse to sell you medicine, whichever suits my mood. I'm honestly quite offended you're even asking. Why would you, though? Don't you have better things to do? Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own selfish plans. Good point. That is a very good point. But all right, if you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods. Back at the academy, I found an ancient scroll written by the Druids. Forbidden knowledge, especially now after the mob forced them all into a wicker man and burned every last one of them to ash. I finally deciphered it a little while ago. It describes a ritual that needs to be performed at night within a stone circle. And guess what? There's one in the nearby forest. I guess you already know what I need you to do, hmm? And here I am, thinking that everyone's already heard about the Charred Conclave. Well, it wasn't the proudest moment in our history, that's for sure. You truly don't know. At some point, the villagers all around the island decided that the Druids were responsible for the Red Death, and all other ailments of our times. They rounded them all up in a massive wicker man north of the Forlorn Swords, and burned them all to ashes. Hundreds of years of knowledge gone within the blink of an eye. But, well, that's what's bound to happen when you stop paying for people's education and invest in keeping the elites fed instead. That is an excellent question, but I don't know. From what I've been able to decipher, it's a summoning spell to bring something or someone to our world. That being will share its great knowledge with the one brave enough to summon it. I need you to remember what it says and repeat it to me after you're back, word for word. In Camelot, maybe, but this far south? Nobody cares. I've spent my entire life digging through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tightly around that knowledge. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will unwrap it for me. Lanzo knows very well what he must do. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can do for him. Either he removes the tooth, or it will keep hurting. He's not dying. He has a toothache, for crying out loud. A physician's duty is to treat an illness, not its symptoms. Of course, I could give him something to ease the pain, but there's no point if he doesn't get rid of the underlying cause. Yes, his grandma's miracle medicine. I honestly don't have time for village superstitions. I had to confiscate the recipe as well, lest he tries making it himself. As if I don't have enough problems already. No, I thought I made myself clear. If you want an excuse to drink yourself to oblivion on moonshine, just drink the moonshine. No need to add other potentially dangerous ingredients. Well, to be fair, the base recipe is pretty harmless. But what if someone decides that if they don't have carnation, it's perfectly fine to substitute it with devil's snare, since the color is more or less the same? Or sage with wolfsbane, because, you know, leaves are leaves. I'm sorry, but unfortunately I know these people well enough not to trust them with something like this. What? How do you... You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. But if it causes you to shit yourself for 3 days straight, don't come running to me.
You're back! How's the remedy? Thank you! I'll finally be able to eat something. Here, take this as my thanks for your help.
You went down there and came back with their tags. Damn. Didn't think anyone would ever bring those back up. Lads must be resting a bit easier now. Or so I'd like to think. They deserve better than to be left in that pit. You did right by them, stranger. Hell, you did right by me too. So, let's drink to that. Why the hell would I do that? I want to celebrate. You can't celebrate with seawater and fish, you dummy. Did I? I don't remember. And if I don't remember, it doesn't count. But maybe I did say that. I started cozying up to a bottle the day I came back alone from those damn tunnels. I guess it's time I made good on my word. For them. For me. This old fool is done with the booze. I think I owe you. More than I got words for. Took guts to go down there, and you brought back what I couldn't. That's something I won't forget, stranger.
What do you want? Who are you? Huh. Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Titan tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to. You people, bugger off.
You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Back then, sure, civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window. Along with our pride. You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft, weak, the lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. Off you go.
heard some hammering. Oh, well, thank you for that. Truly. One less thing to worry about, right? Here, I put aside some money for my budget. You've earned it. And you have my gratitude. Ah, that's you. I'd ask you to fix the refugee barracks, but, well, there's no budget for making people's lives slightly less miserable. We'd have to do with something less spectacular. There are two places around here that could use some fixing up. First, there's the old gate. It used to be a proud marker for our territory, but now it's more of a sorry welcome sign. Then, there's the monument to the sea creature. It's been weathered down by the salty breeze, and honestly, it's starting to look less monumental and more pathetic. If you could restore them, it would do wonders for morale, and maybe even impress Fergus. What do you say? Fair enough. No rush. Well, actually, a bit of a rush. The gate's falling apart faster than my patience for these half-finished jobs. But I appreciate it either way. Please, try not to make my life harder, all right?
Buying anything?
Purification. You've killed our child and set the fate of the garden on a new path. So, peace will come sooner than I expected. Now, at last, I shall have quiet and slumber. Let the flower bloom in all its beauty and die as it was always meant to. Thank you, Seeker.
Arthur favours me. Open this and release me. Are you serious? And here I thought no one could be dumber than Bromar. I'm Nest, of the Ulfra clan, and that's my real name. I'm nothing like that nameless fool Bromar. I'll admit, getting caught was my mistake, but his men had the numbers. Bromar might be an oaf, but I can't deny he's got some talent for That woman thinks only about business, doesn't she? Can't say I blame her. In times like these, everyone has to look after their own skin. They took everything I had, but I managed to hide Orla's package before they caught me. You can dig it up and take it to her. She'll pay you, and we'll be even. Consider it my thanks for freeing me. Finally, someone with some sense in this den of idiots. Thanks. I'll heal up and head back to my people. You didn't happen to kill that big oaf hanging around outside, did ya? Bromar no face. Suits him, with that ugly mug of his. Well, honour demands I kill the bastard, but I'll tend to my wounds first. Thanks for freeing me. You're alright, for a non-reata.
for battle. I'll get you back, Henry.
suppose it wasn't. I can feel it guards something primordial within. The markings on the stone resemble the work of the Foredwellers. In my time, such inscriptions would shift and change, making them impossible to decipher. Yet, I met some people who sought to unravel these mysteries. Most of them were Picts. I allowed them to explore Avalon without my oversight. And so, I remember that the royal geographers came to be. My favorite band of adventurers. True pathfinders. Avalon owes them a great debt.
That's the best news I've heard all week. Come on then, give it to me. Not really. We were never friends, just reluctant business partners. Her problems are hers alone, just like mine are mine. As long as they don't affect our mutual interests. Besides, it's a dangerous business. I know you can't always avoid the risks. Now that I think about it, since you managed to bring that package and Ness decided to ditch me, you might as well help with the next parts of the job. My client, you know who, wants the package delivered to a specific place. Once you're there, you'll use these very special arrows I'm about to give you and shoot the package from a safe distance. Regular arrows won't do the trick. And if you waste them before the job's done, I'll charge you for the next batch. These aren't gifts, they're tools. Oh, come on. What do you think happens when you shoot flaming arrows at a mysterious package? Think for a second. Anyway, whatever opens up in front of you, check it out, and then tell me all about it. If I were you, I wouldn't touch anything. But if something catches your eye, well, maybe nobody will notice. Just make sure to open the passage. What does he care? He pays me to get the job done. How I get it done and whose hands do the work, that's my business. Am I some kind of seer? I have no idea. The captain's my client, not my friend. But if the rumors about him cozying up to the Dalriada tribes are true, you might stumble upon something related to them. Maybe some long-lost artifacts. I haven't got a clue. Personally, I think the captain's just trying to suck up to them. That would be very much like him.
are. Look, darling, it's the lovely mercenary I hired to clear out that seaside estate I told you about.
You did what?
Well, you told me to deal with it, so I did. You didn't expect me to just sit on my hands while surrounded by unwashed fishermen, did you?
Look, I'm sorry about my wife. Whatever she told you to do, forget about it. I'll pay you for your trouble. Trust me, I can imagine. Unfortunately, she often gets lost in her enthusiasm. We weren't, at least I wasn't planning on staying here any longer than necessary. We have no need for an estate.
Well, that's your opinion. One I simply do not share. You have? Oh, that's wonderful. I can start planning the welcoming banquet. I'm thinking seafoam made of spun silver, dancers dressed as alluring sea creatures.
And who are you going to invite, The crabs? None of your friends from Camelot are going to come all this way just to have dinner, are they?
Dear gods, Duncan. You're so plebeian. Of course they will come. Besides, there must be some important people here. Weren't you just talking with them? You can invite them too.
Good luck with that. Are you sure the place is safe now? That doesn't exactly build confidence.
Oh, nonsense, Duncan. Why must you always be so malcontent? Try looking on the bright side every once in a while, will you? I, for one, am simply ecstatic to start decorating our new nest. Trust me, when it comes to home decor, my tastes are unparalleled. Now, Duncan, please be a dear and pay the nice mercenary so we can be on our way to our new residence.
Oh, joy. Here's your money. Have a nice day. At least one of us will.
Oh, and do come visit us once we're all settled. I wouldn't mind some company amidst all this dreariness. Truly, there's so little to do here in terms of proper entertainment.
Battery low. Please charge.
So much for a secluded cave keeping visitors away. Seems like there's no one on this island to hide in peace. Ah well, since you're here, I have an important question. Do you have any food? I promise to answer all of your questions, no matter how annoying or asinine they might be. But first, do you have any food? Oh dear. Yes, food. That stuff you put in your mouth to make sure your body doesn't wither and die, you know? Fish, meat, vegetables, bread. Oh, some bread would be especially nice. But I'll take anything, really. No, I cannot. My doctrine forbids me from killing any living being, even one as mindless and insignificant as a fish. Or that of an annoying trespasser who won't stop tormenting a starving man with inane questions. Happy? Now, could you please give me something to eat? Oh, Fine, you got me. Nothing prevents me from catching myself a fish, apart from the fact that I'm really bad at it. Thanks. I'll be forever indebted to you, but don't expect much. The only payment I can offer you is seashells, or, you know, access to an infinite well of ancient druidic wisdom. I'd rather you choose wisdom. I threw out my collection of seashells a few days ago after I stepped on them with my bare feet. Much better. Time for a nap. Oh, except you're still here. Oh no, don't tell me you still have questions. Oh, you know what would be nice? A bath. I do miss baths. I suppose when someone says they miss the taste of roast pork, you tell them to go lick a pig. Anyway, show me the scroll. Yes, I see.
you should definitely follow the ritual. Just make sure you do everything exactly as it is written. I'm sorry, I can't tell you anymore, but it is essential that you discover it for yourself. Revealing the details would spoil the effect. The pursuit of knowledge often requires taking great risks. Now, off you hop. The ritual awaits.
Allah. It's you. Did you hear? The keeper was cured. Cole wasn't so lucky. He's fallen into a strange state. A while ago, one of Fergus's men came by and told us your bloody lucky Mahon got better. And that's the only reason we're still allowed to stay in the village. He just sits there, staring. He doesn't notice anyone. It's almost as if all the life inside him is frozen. Even the part of him that was full of aggression. Most of them wanted Cole dead, but Fergus forbade anyone from interfering. Since Mahon is getting better, he decided that Cole's fate is in our hands. But if anyone else raises a hand against him, they'd be sentenced, as if for murder. That cooled the tempers of the... I can't abandon him. Even if he's not exactly the Cole I knew, he still looks like him. I won't ask you to end his agony. How could I? I'll take care of him for as long as he lives. And then, I don't know. I'll probably leave this godforsaken place. Yes. Perhaps that's what should be done. Just do it quickly. At night. I don't want anyone to see. And I thank you.
Nothing changes. Nothing ever will. Didn't think anyone would stop by.
You're back. Does that mean it's strange? In a moment like this, I should feel something. But I don't. There's nothing. Just emptiness. The night is so quiet. It's a good thing Cole left this world in peace. That's something he'd been missing lately. I won't keep you any longer. I'll start packing and leave before dawn. I'll head towards Kuanocht and then... we'll see. I thank you for trying. And for freeing me from this place. Take care.
I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me, then... Oh, I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not one of us. And you're not a local either.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. Kind of poor ambience, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least we have a roof over our heads.
Cole is dead. He must have died of exhaustion. Oh, and Patrice left us. I just hope she'll be able to get over all of this.
My boy Frank and I came here with the others. We left our village because we had to. Well, I had to. But Frank is a good lad, so he came with me. I took him in, you know.
Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then. But I could tell he'd be a strong lad once he thawed out. He used to help out on the farm.
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast out of the Del Rita.
At first, the people in our village gave him dirty looks. But then they realized he wasn't a bandit.
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Frank is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill.
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frank, came along. Everything seemed to be going pretty well.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle and finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree. And so did Fran. He says he has some kind of life debt, and he won't leave me alone until one of us drops dead. I'm sorry too. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. And this nasty thing with Cole. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended like that. He and Beatrice got along very well. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long. What? Ah, yes. The people are making a fuss over nothing. A dream is just a dream. No need to